Good morning.
Just want to make sure I honor this. So as I look at your beautiful faces this morning, happy Sunday, the last Sunday of April. Oh my gosh, what is going on right now? You know, it's like they say time is just a construct though, so yeah, it doesn't really matter. Who knows what day today really is? I'm just happy to be here with you all today, and I'm going to take this down and make sure this is connected. So as I was thinking of the topic again for today's service talk, I kept getting, I know the theme is exploring resurrection, co-creating with the divine, exploring resurrection. And I started thinking, what is that? What does that really mean? Because, you know, beginning of the month we celebrated Easter. And what kept coming up was this thing of rolling away the stone, removing the stone, and allowing ourselves to truly become what Spirit is calling us to, what we've been called here to be and to do. Many of you know it's like there's something that's happening, it's been happening on our planet at this time, and that there's an opportunity for deeper change. It is becoming, not becoming something outside of ourselves, but becoming more of who we already are in truth. And in that becoming process is not a comfortable place to be sometimes. Because becoming will ask you to release what you have been. It will ask you to outgrow what once felt like your identity, how you may have identified in the world. You know, many times we think of these titles that we have. You know, it's like be it with minister or chaplain or teacher or whatever the work is that we do, those are titles that we hold. But there's something much deeper inside that's calling us of who are we really? Who is that spirit being in us? How are we showing up in the world? Because many times people don't look at titles, or they may think if you have this title, oh, you must be, you know, this important person in the world or something, and then, you know, you have all these great ideas and you don't listen to the little people. But when you come from a place of knowing who you are, that you're the spirit being in this vehicle that we walk around in, that is that part of becoming. Many times we have this weight that we carry on us. As we live in this world that feels heavy, it feels like we have these burdens that are just holding us down, like, oh my gosh, there's so much going on. It's like, what am I to do? How am I to show up? It's like, I just can't anymore. Sometimes we get to that place that I just can't. There's this uncertainty that we have because we don't know what tomorrow brings. We don't even know what the next 5 minutes is going to bring us. So, you know, we can go in and even once we leave here, go look at our phones and there's something crazy that has happened in the world. Something that's like, now, when did that happen? And didn't we just pray about, you know, holding this light? And then we go out and we look on our phones and we listen to the news and, oh my gosh. And it brings us back down into this little rabbit hole again, if we allow it to. But that's the whole thing of remembering who we are. Because the thought that says, be in this world, but not of it. Because we can walk through this world and understand and see what's happening. But it doesn't mean that we get caught up in what's happening in the world. So today we're talking about rolling away our stones, because resurrection is not a distant miracle. It's a present practice, and becoming requires all of our participation, because this is your life, my life. How am I participating in my life? We're being called to roll away the stones that we've accepted as permanent. So many times the fear, the limitation that we've put on ourselves or we've allowed others to put upon us. The silence, in our silence, and also separation. When there's so much noise, sometimes we just want to go into the silence, or if there's something that needs to be done, we don't want to speak up about it. We want to stay silent. Because those things that are happening cannot go where you're being called, where you're becoming. The stone is not just something that's right there in front of you. The stone is something that's already within you. It is every belief that you've held on to that's allowed you to become rigid. It's every identity that you have fixed, has become fixed upon you. If you've allowed yourself to identify, and it's like, yes, it's like, I'm this, sometimes people say I'm this bully. It's like, I identify, yes, I'm a bully. Not me, I'm not saying that. But that's how, it's like, or sometimes people put that on other people. That, oh my gosh, you're so mean. And people, it's like, and they take that on. I've seen that happen. People's like, well, I just don't like people. I'm just mean like that. Well, why do you hold on to that? Because that's not spiritual practice. That's not that part of becoming. So every story that once protected you, it now restricts you. Because it's like, this may have been how I was as a child, but I've become an adult. And so as an adult, I think differently. My consciousness has shifted in a way that allows me to not think as that child that I may have thought back then, oh, I'm not loved, or I'm not good enough, or whatever that child and the pain that that child may have been going through. But as we grow older, and as we allow ourselves to connect with our consciousness, that there is something that's opening and pulling us. It's been pulling us. That's why we're here right now. It's like there is something, Spirit is pulling us right now, and has been, for us to step into something greater. But when we start saying, oh, I'm too afraid to do this, it's like, I don't know if I can do this. And yes, you can. What if whatever it is that has been put before you that you've wanted to do, what if you just started? What if you just moved that stone of fear out of your way? Allowed yourself to step into, when you move that stone, step into what's in that tunnel, what's in that hole. It's like, oh, become curious, lean into it. It's like, oh, wait a minute. I think about Marilyn, I know you're working on a book and stuff. So it's like, so what if that fear may have shown up for you in regards to, I don't know if I can do this. I don't want to do this. People are not going to. That's that fear. That's the story that we tell. But you've done it anyway. You've put it out there. And the thing is, it's that, and then Amy with music, it's like, I don't know. It's like, yeah, it's just a little pastime. I don't think people want to go and want to hear me. And I don't know if that was your story in the beginning when you first started playing, but what I see when you're showing up, and it's just like the music is beautiful, and you allow yourself to be seen. That's what, when we roll away that stone, that fear, that doubt, that resistance, when we roll that away and look into that tomb, and it's like, oh, there's something greater here. Let me step into this and see what else is in here. Oh my gosh. This is that time right now. This world that we're living in right now. That whatever it is that may feel like the cement that's holding your feet down, saying, I can't move. I just can't. If your family is, some people have negative families, some have very positive families. When you're in this space of being around negative people, I know for me, my energy feels so depleted that I have to walk away. And sometimes you can't walk away from it. You just have to be in that space. Start thinking, it's like, this is how they are. I don't need to respond to how they're showing up. What I need to do is hold my space. This is my family. This is blood. Doesn't mean that, it's like I may be related to them by blood, but it's like, I don't need to be around you all the time. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing, people have a hard time because they think, oh, this is my mom, this is my dad, this is my brother and my siblings. And they talk so badly about you sometimes. But you want to put yourself in that space. Oh, I'm staying here because this is what family does. This is how we show up. But how is that supporting you? How do we move away from that stone, push that stone of being complacent to how the family's showing up, to stepping out into being who you're called to be? When we step out into what Spirit is calling us to do, sometimes it doesn't feel comfortable, and sometimes we don't have support systems that are holding us up. Those same family members may look at you like, why you want to do that? Really? Who said you could do that? How many times have you had that happen? It's like in the back of your mind, you may think, well, maybe they're right. No. Because when you're called, when you're being pulled into something, this is when we trust that Spirit has your back. When we go within and say, okay, Spirit, I surrender. I hear the noise that's over here, but I have to silence this noise. Move that stone away. That noise, move it away. And allow me to continue to become what it is that I'm being called to become and to do in this world. I know there are some stories that you all have told of your becoming, of your opening up to something much greater. I know when you do your sound baths and stuff, that's an opening right there. That's, it's like it allows us to be in that space of just open and to allow that energetic, that spiritual energy to come through us. And, we fall into it. That's the thing that I'm feeling. It's like, and I'm hearing the music, just being through some sound baths before, and just the sound, the gongs and the bells, and it's like how it takes over. That's that place of surrender. That's letting go. And then you may you may have family members, oh, come to the sound bath with me. Oh, what? What the heck is that? No, wait a minute. You getting in water or something? It's like, no. It's an energetic. And people are like, no, that's okay. I'll just stay right where I am. It's like, nah, you go do you. I'll talk about you a little bit, but just go do you. It's okay. But that's the thing, because when you were called to do that, it's like, I don't know if there was fear that was happening with you at first. And it's like, really, Spirit, this is what I'm doing? But you're doing it. And that's how this works. It's like moving away that stone of doubt, of fear, of resistance, and stepping into what you're being called to become. Many times when we think about moving these stones, though these stones are of what defines us, just think of lying on the ground sometimes and having a stone of fear laying on top of you. You can't move because you've allowed yourselves to be stuck under this doubt, this anger that we hold on to. Many of us are angry right now of what's happening in our world. But in that place of anger, again, that's a stone. Because if you're holding on to anger, there's no place to let in light. When we hold on to that anger place within us, it just holds us and restricts us. But when we allow ourselves, like, you know what? I don't need to be angry because anger hurts me more than it hurts anyone else. How do I let go of this anger? How do I step out of this? Spirit, God, source, greater being, whatever the name is that we may have, call on that and ask, help me in this moment. I don't know what to do. Show me how to move out of this place. That's stepping away. That's rolling that stone away and stepping up into becoming what Spirit is calling you to become. I think about, when I started thinking about the becoming, I thought about Michelle Obama's book on becoming. And one of the things that she reminds us is that your story is what you have, what you will always have. It is something to own. Yes, we honor the story. We honor what we've carried, but we do not let it confine us. because our story is meant to inform our becoming, not limited. And so in that place, it's like, what stories have we been telling about who we were back then, in our past relationships, in our past jobs, and wherever we lived in the past? We move here to this right now moment, to this place of where we are. New relationships, new people around us, new opportunities. Do we still hold on to those same stories of the past? Because what I realize is that the mind doesn't know whether what you're thinking of is something that's happened in the past or if it's something that's happening in the present. What it knows is that this is where your focus is, this is where your attention is. And so in that moment, this is like, oh, this is what we're doing now. It's like, well, you've had difficult relationships in your past, so you're having difficult relationships now because this is what we're thinking. Or you've had hard times at your job in the past. It's like, I remember, it's like I was working with this person, and it's like, and they would like always just do crazy things at their desk, and it would irritate me. And I started thinking about that. And all of a sudden, somebody in front of me starts doing the same thing. And I'm thinking, oh, hold on, let me stop. Because that was then, this is now, this is not who this person is. But I realized that I was bringing this into my present moment. So that's the thing of, when we recognize what's not working for us is when we can flip the script, as they say. We can change it to allow ourselves to step into something so much greater. As I was coming this morning here, and I started thinking about, in this place of our becoming, this is when we let our light shine. This is truly when we're in that place of being that behind that stone, that's that gray place, that's that darkness. When we step into our becoming, we allow our light that's within us to shine out brightly. And sometimes when that light starts shining out brightly, it blinds people. Because sometimes people will look at you like, oh my gosh, you're just way too bright. They may not say that, but what happens is they step back away from you. They can't even come close to you because there's something that's there that they don't understand what it is. They can feel it, they can sense it. But that's when you start letting your light shine. Oh, watch out. Because that's, as they say, that's when the haters start coming around sometimes too, But it's this thing of, and then that's also when you have people that come around and support you, because people have been down this road before. And so how can I support you in what you're here to do? And I believe that's what this center is about as well. How does this center support you all when you're moving through these challenging times? How do we step in and, even if it's to do a prayer with you, to have a kind word with you, to see you in a different light? How does that happen? I do photography and videography often. I haven't done it in a while. But I always think when I'm taking pictures or when I'm doing videography and I'm shooting like a documentary or something, and when I see people, I always look at their eyes. Because I always say it's like the eyes are the windows to a soul. It's like, so I look and I'm like, oh, what's happening here? And when I listen, it takes me somewhere deeper to ask a different question, to ask. When I've done documentaries, it's like it's been, well, I'm going to ask what I have scripted here. But then when I start looking into the eyes, there's something else that comes up. It's like, oh, can I say this? Can I ask this question? And then I'll just ask it. And it opens up a window to something much greater, because then people feel seen. Mm-hmm. And they'll look at me like, how did you know that? I'm just looking. I'm looking and I'm listening. But that's this whole thing of when we allow our light to shine in that place of becoming, listen. Because when we listen within, information comes up. Answers show up for us often. And sometimes when they show up, we may be like, nope, I'm going to put that down. Nope, not ready for that one. I'm just going to stay here over in the shade over here in the gray area here right now, and because I'm okay here, until we're no longer okay here. Something will push you. It will pull you into this light. Sometimes we go kicking and screaming when all we needed to do was just like, all right, I surrender. You know what? I give up. And in that moment, when we start manifesting here, when we start shifting here, then I think to myself sometimes when that's happened, it's like, why did I decide I wanted to stay over there? Why did I just, you know what? And then it got to the point, it doesn't even matter. I'm over here now. And that's how we're being called right now. We're being called to make changes in the world. We're being called to make changes in our lives, in our family dynamics, in our workplaces, wherever it is, when we're traveling around the world. The people that you've told me that you've encountered, when you've traveled, just, it's just, hello, how are you? Conversations. That changes people more than we know. I've shared before, I've been in grocery stores and I've spoken to people, and it's like, and people are like, oh, hi, how are you? They may have this mean look on their face or like in a hurry to get to where they're going. I was like, good morning. And then they'll do just that. They'll be like, oh, hi, good morning. And their whole energy shifts. But that's the change. It's like, it doesn't have to be a great big change. Something small can make a difference in the world. When we allow ourselves to be used, we're truly co-creators with the divine. So it's like, what is it that we're being called to co-create right now? Listen. It's like, all right, Spirit, we co-creating something. What are we doing? I don't know. Is it a new song? I don't know. New artwork? New book? No, who knows what it is? What am I being called to do? And you're not doing this on your own, by yourself. There's support that's available to you. And sometimes we just have to ask, where is that support coming from? This is what I need right now. Spirit, who can I call? I don't know who to reach out to. And how many times have you said, I don't know, and then all of a sudden somebody shows up in your community and says, well, I do this kind of work here and I do this, and it's like, oh, that's what I really needed. That was one of the things when I moved to Dallas, and it's like, and I got to this community, and I told Spirit, I said, all right, Spirit, I'm moving to Dallas. I said, but you have to show me or send me somebody that's a spiritual hypnotherapist that I can connect with. And it's like, and I don't know where to, because I've looked and seen other people. I was attending a church there in Dallas, and one Sunday, I left out of the room, left my purse there, and went over to the other side to go get water. And I came back, and this woman was sitting in a row over here, further down from me. And so I walked back to my seat area. I said, who says she could sit over there? Who is she? And I just started laughing about it. But then we had this introductory period that we had in the beginning. And so I was talking to her, and I asked her, I said, so, is this your first time here? She said, yeah, it's my first time here, and I just moved to Dallas. My family is here, and I moved here for work. I said, well, what do you do? I'm a spiritual hypnotherapist. And I'm like, all right, God. And the amazing thing is that this person became like my sister. It's been my best friend. She made her transition on last year, but it has been such an amazing experience because it opened me up to be able to see something greater within myself that I could not see. And I was grateful for this connection that we've had. And so I realized when we ask and we just say yes, it shows up in ways that we can't even imagine. I think about Octavia Butler, from her book, The Parable of the Sower, where she reminds us, all that you touch, you change. All that you change changes you. The only lasting truth is change. God's spirit source is change. When we tap into that, that is our change. That's becoming. Every time you release something, every time you're not just, every time you're letting go of something that's no longer serving you, it served a purpose, but that purpose has changed. So that purpose now becomes something different. You are making space for something new. You're making space for a new version of who you are and who you're being called to be. So make room for that becoming. In that becoming, be ready for more. Because when it comes, it's like it's going to ask you, are you ready? Are you really ready to step out and do this thing? Are you really ready to shift your life? And if you say yes, you can say no also, but it's still going to happen. We just say no in that resisting mode. It's like, no, not yet, but it's still pulling you. So just make room for that. So how do we do this? When we notice what feels heavy, we tell the truth. That this no longer belongs to who I am becoming. This fear, this doubt. And not to say fear and doubt doesn't serve a purpose, but it does. Hush. Okay. Really? Thank you. Didn't want to shut up. I'm going to end this very shortly. We release it gently. Those stories that we've told about ourselves. Those things that we've carried about who we are, the badge of honors that we've worn, we can let that go. We can stop identifying with what is wanting to be released. We don't need to hold on to it anymore. And we can align with what is emerging. Get into alignment with what's being called forth. Spirit, show me, how do I align with what this is that I'm being called to do? And watch what happens. Watch the unfolding that comes into place, the people that show up like that. The phone calls that you may get, because sometimes we get these relatives that said, you know, baby, I was thinking about this, and it's like, I'm so sorry about how I treated you back then, and things change. And you know what? And what I want to do is, God told me that I needed to send you some money. So I'm going to send you some money right now. This is how it works sometimes. We just never know. Somebody that you may have worked with years ago may have moved into a different direction of work. And all of a sudden, they're calling you because you thought they were the worst boss ever. And they call you and say, you know, I thought about you the other day, and something told me to call you. I'm starting this new project, and I want you to be the lead for this. You never know how Spirit is aligning you to do what that changes that's needed for our world. So just in closing, I just want to say that you're not here to stay the same. You are here to become, to evolve, to expand, to grow, to express something deeper that's more true than who you are. Allow that to go out into the world. And becoming will ask something of you. It will ask you to release. It will ask you to trust. It will ask you to move away that stone. So yes, we rise and we will roll away our stones so that we can become. So let us just go into prayer. And in this moment, in this right now moment, knowing that there truly is only the one life, and that life is God, that life is Spirit, that life is Source, whatever the name is that we give it, it is, we are, and all truly is well. So in this right now moment, knowing that this is our moment, that we get to move away the stone of our fears, of our doubts, whatever the story is that has been told, that we get to move that away, and that we get to step into and be in alignment with that the Spirit is calling us to do and to be. In this right now moment, we stand in this place of arms wide open, surrendering to Spirit. Yes, I say yes. knees knocking and all, I know that I am being pulled and moved and guided into the right and perfect direction. So knowing that in this moment, I trust. I allow it to come to me in ways that I cannot even imagine. Because what I know is that although my mind is the mind of God and God is residing within me, what I know is that when I stand in this place of letting go, I'm stripped naked, allowing Spirit to just show me and guide me and move me and lead me in the right and perfect direction. Knowing everything falls in perfect and divine order, that things line up to support me for this place of becoming. So in this place, this knowingness, I say yes. I say yes, I say yes. Will your heart and soul say yes to what you're being called to be in alignment with? This is that time right here, right now. We allow Spirit to continue to keep moving us in the right and perfect direction, always and in all ways. So in this, I just give thanks. I allow it to be. I release this out into the universe, knowing that it is already done in the mind of God. So I just keep moving forward. And I invite you all to do the same. To keep moving forward. We don't need to look back to what has been. We look forward to what it is that we're continuing to become. Let go, let God know that it is already done. And I just anchor this prayer with, and so it is. Blessed be. Amen.